do as you please, sis. Like, I'm with it if you're with it. Hi guys, I'm Ren. Welcome back to my channel. This is where we level up and become the best, baddest versions of ourselves. So girl, if that feels like a season you're in, then you need to join the gang. This channel is all about work in progress meeting self-mastery. Make sure you stick around till the end to get the homework chapter, because for me, we can watch these videos all day, but what does it matter if we actually haven't got any actionable steps to take after so we can achieve what we actually want? Also, I'm going to throw the timestamps up here, so if you feel like all of the video is not relevant, you can pick the sections that apply to you best. I am going to keep it so real. It is hard. It's hard. Like, some people might find it easy, and clap for you, sis, if you find your single season easy. I know I was having a conversation the other day with my friend, and she was very much like, nah, Renee, like, to me, single's not about that. That is kind of like my reset mode. Like, you know, when you have those girlies that are always in relationships, or you have girls that are always single most of the time, like that's their kind of main occupancy. I don't know if I've said that right, but whatever. For me, I've always been in a relationship. So I am here speaking to the girlies that struggle with being single. Like, it's not normal for them. It's not easy. It's not like, oh yeah, this is whatever. Because I get, for some girls, yeah, like whatever, I'm always single. Or 9 times out of 10, I'm single. So I'm so used to it. I'm comfortable in my own skin. For me, my skin was itchy. Like, I'll be honest, I didn't know what to do with myself. I very much got a track history of in a relationship, run to a next one, in a relationship, run to a next one. Okay, so I can see this relationship's ending. Okay, like, he's kind of interested. Let me kind of line him up just in case. And I'll be honest, like, it's embarrassing, but it's the real. Like, when I was younger, that was what I was in. So a year and a half ago, when my last relationship finished, I made a vow to myself that no, I'm going to embrace my single season, and I'm not going to speak to anyone. Like, for a good couple of months, I am going to get to know me. I'm going to spend time with me. I am going to embrace being on my own, and literally being on my own, like not texting, not dating, not speaking to guys, being on my own. And girl, this is how it's went. This is what I learned. And this is for the younger version of myself, or every girlie going through a breakup, or currently in the single season. You might have been single for a while, but you're just like, sis, it's too much. First, just accept it. Like, accept how you feel. Yes, I can sit here and say, do this, do that, act like this, but no. The first thing you need to do is, even if you have been single for a year, 2 years, 3 years, be like, do you know what? This is shit. I feel shit. I'm not enjoying it. I don't like it. I feel like a lot of the time we try and like brush past that. No, it's good. Like, act, oh yeah, I'm loving being single, and really deep down you're not. If you are gonna lie to yourself, how are you ever gonna overcome and really deal with your wounds? You're not. So yeah, you can lie outside if you want to, but to yourself, you need, or that one person, you know, you tell everything, you need to be like, nah, do you know what? I'm not enjoying it. And that's where it started for me. I had to sit down and be like, do you know what? No, it feels weird, as like I'm not used to it. I am itchy. I feel like I do want to speak to someone. I very much realised I've got a dependency on men. Like, I look for them for attention. Without the attention, I feel very like empty, not worthy. I had to unpick all of those things to the point where it was painful. Like, it was actually painful. I had to sit down with myself and be like, oh my God, Renee, like, you've got a dependency on men. Like, you actually cannot live or get on with your life without a man. You actually feel that without a man you can't truly be happy. You feel like a man is attached to your happiness, to your happily ever after. Imagine if God has really written that, like, I don't want you to be in a relationship, I don't want you to be married, like, that's not your purpose for life. And it's a thing. There's women out there that unfortunately or fortunately won't have kids. Like, it's just not written for them. It's not on their path. So I had to sit down. To be honest, I watched a TikTok video and a girl was saying, I'm sick of like stressing about getting a man. I sat down with myself today and said to myself, like, what about if God has actually planned that I'm not gonna have a man? Like, I am gonna be single forever. What am I gonna do? Like, be upset, be not happy forever? And it really was like, whoa. And then I thought, you know what, I've got to start living like, who cares if I get a man? Like, if this is it, how can I make this feel good, make my cup full all by myself? And this is where I really started to feel like, no, the work has to begin. You have to change your perspective. Like, if you're not going to change your perspective, it's never going to work. I always say every single situation has 2 sides to it, like a coin. You're going to have pros and you're going to have cons. We can we can focus on the cons, which as a society, that is literally what we are trained to do. And it's because of like capitalism, marketing, it's all about noticing a problem and then these big companies honing in on that problem, and then you're like, oh my God, I need it. Of course I need it. Of course I need that extra stupid thing off Amazon that's gonna cost me $19.99 because I have this big problem. Instead of thinking, okay, like what are the pros of this situation? And I was the biggest pessimist. Like I was such a pessimist. And I had to sit down and be like, no, okay, what are the pros of actually being single? And there are so many, and everyone's will look different because we're all different and we all enjoy and don't enjoy certain things. But for me, being able to just come home and like slap on a big t-shirt, hair a mess, no edges done, just look a bit tied up and tied down is a pro for me. Like I just don't have to worry about my appearance all the time. Like I just can be relaxed, I can be lazy. Like if I want to come in and eat beans on toast, I can. Like I don't have to then think, oh, he's not gonna want that, or I'm not doing like the proper wifey thing, or I need to make sure like he gets a cooked meal. I can just think, do you know what, I'm hungry, I don't care, I will actually throw some noodles on the cooker. And for me, that has been like a big bonus. I don't only have to worry about what me and my child are gonna eat. And if you're a single person, it's even better. It's like, okay, I just need to worry about me. Birthdays, Christmas is coming up, the biggest pro. I don't have to go out there and buy a big present. I don't have to go stress about buying a present. I can use that money and be like, sis, treat yourself, you've had a tough year. So for me, it's just like looking at the pros, and there's some of the littler pros. Like imagine if you're never going to be single again. Like I genuinely believe in my heart this is the last time I'm going to be single, because the next time I get in a relationship, I'm going to be getting married. Like facts, tell me different, because I'm not going to believe it. Like I'm definitely riding my Delulu train. So to me, it's like, embrace it. This last time you're going to be able to do stuff for yourself, not think about someone else's opinion, not care about what someone else is doing, not have to consider someone else's feelings. I can literally just do what the hell I want to do apart from considering my child, obviously. So it's like, embrace it. This is the last time I'm going to have a lot of spare weekends to be chilling with the girls, going on extra girl holidays. This is the last 2 years of my 30s, and I'm like, nah, seriously, like I feel like I need to make these 2 years count. So it's like, I don't actually care anymore. I'm just like, if this is the last time I'm ever going to be single, then I should embrace it. Because one thing about me is I'm always in a rush. I was in a rush to have a kid, and when I had a kid, I miss the times when I was back in my flat and it was just me. And I'm like, okay, I could stay in my bed all day. I could literally make a sandwich, go out to bed and not move. I miss those times. And it was like, in those times, I was so in a rush for the relationship, for the kid, for the next step. And don't get me wrong, I love my daughter now. But if I could go back and say, do you know what? I'm going to embrace that time. I'm not going to rush it. I'm not going to be rushing for the next step. I'd be so much happier, because I would have been like, no, like I really felt like I got the most out of that time in my life. We are all where we are in our lives for a reason. Facts. Like I genuinely believe that. So whatever it is, even if it is a hard, difficult time, it is to teach you something. So the more we embrace and lean into it, the more we're going to get from the situation. Getting comfortable with who you are is like the top most important thing. I can sit here confidently and say, I'm not here to tell you I know it all. I do not. I am learning myself more and more, but I cannot sit here and say, oh my God, I know exactly who I am, I'm this, I'm that. No, I'm learning every single day. Like things I thought I liked, I actually realized were because my partner liked, and it was just normal. So that's what we did most of the time. Opinions I thought I had, I'm like, oh, actually that wasn't my opinion. So spending time on your own, you're actually learning what you like. And this word of authenticity keeps rolling around, and it actually stresses me out, because I'm like, okay, everyone's saying be authentic, but what is that? What is that? Because if you haven't actually sat down and took time to think about what your authentic self is, you don't know. A lot of us are in jobs or in organizations, communities, friendship groups, whatever it is, school groups, college groups, where a lot of the time you merge and you dim your light, or you might make the light a bit brighter to fit in with that group of people. I know I am that person. Like I can very much fit into any group, which is a pro, but then it's also a con. It's like, okay, well, who the hell am I? Like when everything's stripped back, who is Ren? I'm still on the train trying to figure that out. But the more time you spend on your own, the more time you figure that out. And like I said, the shit felt so uncomfortable and so itchy, and all I can say is you just have to lean into it. You have to find little things that you enjoy. I've actually realised I don't like going to the club. I literally went to the club to, one, speak to guys, I'll be honest. Like I like the the attention. A lot of it was about like getting attention, being appreciated, because really and truly I wasn't giving it to myself. So it's like, okay, well, who else can give it to me? The opposite sex. So I realised I don't actually like going to the club. Like, yeah, I like having a little drink, but I'm not actually a drinker. I'll go to the club because, okay, that's what everyone in my age group doing. That's what my friends were doing. And okay, I'm going to get a bit of attention. But now I'm like, no, I actually feel like I prefer to do activities or go for a nice dinner. For me, I feel like my perfect evening is actually having a really fire dinner with one of my besties, enjoying the food. And I don't even want to go somewhere too bougie. That's another thing, like all these bougie restaurants, that's been a big thing. Like, oh no, I like to go to a bougie restaurant. No, I actually want to go somewhere with really good food. And then, yeah, if I can have a few cocktails as well, I'm good. Be in bed for 10, I'm with it. So I'm even figuring out, like, I don't like the club. And it took me how many years from 18 to 28 to be like, okay, that's actually not my thing. But it's all a learning process. And the more you do things and not do things and say no and say yes and be like, do you know what, I'm going to try this out, the more you will learn yourself. I have said to myself, the rest of this year, I made a big thing about I am going to go left when I would have usually went right. Like, that has literally been my slogan. So I would have usually done this. I'm going to do this instead, just to see if I'm with it. Like, this weekend, I'm going to an awards evening just because I'm like, okay, I believe in what it's all about. It's all about Black excellence. And I'm just like, I'm going. Like, I shouldn't actually be there. Like, I'm not a finalist. Like, I know a couple of them kind of like ish. But I'm like, I'm going. Like, it's something different. I want to be around like like-minded people. I want to be inspired. Like, I think it's a good cause. It's nice to get dressed up, eat some really good food, meet some different kind of people. And that is something I would have never invested in before. Like, it was such a bloody expensive ticket. But before I would have been like, no way. Like, I'd rather go to the club, £20 ticket, £20 O'Poly dress, or, well, not O'Poly dress, £20 PLT dress. And I wouldn't have invested in like looking for different experiences, meeting new people and doing something different. And I'm like, no, I'm out with that now. Like, I'm searching for different experiences, so in that I can actually find out who I am and what I like to do. Focus on friendships. There is love all around us. I used to think, oh my god, I've got no one loves me, no one loves me. That is such a selfish statement. And don't get me wrong, there's people out there that are genuine on their own, so my heart goes out to you if you are one of those people. But even if you have that one friend, sis, even if you got your dog or your cat, okay, or mum, like whoever that one person is for you, just hone in on what love you have around you, because we always notice the lack instead of noticing what we do have. What has really helped me through my single season is leaning into my friendships and being like, no, I don't have to go on that bougie dinner with a guy. I can go with my friends. Literally the other day, my friend was on the phone like, oh my god, I really wanted to go to this like Birmingham Bake Off thing. It looks so sick. It's such a sick date night. Like, I'm just waiting. Sis, why are you waiting? You like baking, I like baking, like, let's go. And she was like, do you know what? Yeah, like, let's go. And we went and we had a sick time. And it was just an example of like, I know I've done that. I want to go to this really nice spa. And I'm like, oh wait, so I get my man. Why? Go with your friends, lean into the friendship and the love you have. I've spent so much time with family members, my sisters, because I'm like, lean into the love I have. They give me so much love. When I'm with them, when I leave them, I feel joy, I feel love. So don't isolate yourself and make yourself feel even more neglected because it's not coming from a man. Love can come from so many different kinds of people. Live in the moment. And this is coming from someone that definitely lives in her head, but as again, like, we're working through it together. Live in the moment, approach dating as fun. I'm not saying go out there and be unsafe and do the mad thing. Do as you please, sis. Like, I'm with it if you're with it. But go and have fun. I used to approach every dating opportunity or every guy I met as, oh my god, this is gonna be my husband and I want him to be my husband, so he needs this, he needs this, he needs this. And if he doesn't have this, then I'm on to the next one. I'm not interested, blah, 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 blah. In my head, no. Pause. We are approaching dating as fun. Like, I'm enjoying this conversation, it's a good conversation. I'm enjoying this meal, it's a good meal. If I'm not feeling it, if your energy's off, if I'm not enjoying it, then okay, I can move on to the next one. Be booked, be busy. And what I mean by that is go and find a hobby, go and do something you love and you enjoy. And sis, I get it. When people told me that, I was like, well, I don't love anything, I don't enjoy anything, I don't know what I want to do. So I had to go out there and find that. Speaking to friends, trying new things. I got into Pilates, I got into yoga a little bit, I got into running. Like, I literally can now run 5k, which is a miracle, because before I couldn't even run for 30 seconds without being like so go and find something and try and change and try and change. Book a class. Okay, I liked it, now I didn't like it, I'll go to another class. Be busy, go and get another job. Me now, I've got 2 jobs. Sis, it's time for some homework. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to sit down and write a list of all the pros of being single. Something about writing it out physically, seeing it makes it just real. Even if you can only think of 2 or 3 things, that's fine, because what you're going to do is when you're having a bad moment, a crappy day, because you will have them, you can hone in on those things, make those things a thing. Like for me, I said I like just having a lousy day, thinking like, oh, I can cook what I want, I don't have to look cute in the house, whatever. So if I'm having a bad day, I can then say, do you know what, that's exactly what I'm going to do in this moment, because that is one of my pros. Like that makes me feel good. Or feeling like you've got that extra spare cash because you're not spending it on someone else, so you're going to go and treat yourself to something cute because you're like, you know what, I can. Go and do one of those pros in the moment, in your lowest moments, to make you feel like, okay, this is all right, I can survive today and we'll get up and try again tomorrow. Go and find and then book a class, okay? If you're gonna go for the job option, same, like sort out your CV, go and start like looking, job searching for something you can do on the side extra to what you already do. There's no time like the present moment, because that is gonna help you in so many ways than you can even imagine. Sis, you need to start practicing the boring uncle technique when you meet someone new, when you're in your dating bag, because this changed my life. I am very like anxious attachment style girly. You literally might be avoidant, like that might not be your thing, but for me it was like I was just putting too much energy and pressure into dating. So now, like in terms of the boring uncle theory, I'm just like, it's boring Uncle Rodney. Like it's not that deep. If I reply, I reply. If I don't, I don't. If he ghosts me, so what? It's not that deep. And basically using the boring uncle technique is all about thinking about, you know, that uncle that you've got at Christmas where you love him, but oh, he's just boring Uncle Rodney. Like he talks for too long. You've asked him one question, he's now speaking for 10 minutes. Like you kind of zoned out, but you're being polite, you're being nice, like, yeah, uncle, yeah. That's how you're gonna treat the new guys. Like you're just not gonna put too much energy into it. I find, especially me, I put way too much energy into it, and then I'm like, I'm on this big low when I'm like, another talking stage hasn't worked, or another dating situation, or a situationship shit. Like I'm just so and demotivated because I've put so much into it, where it's like, okay, now you're a boring uncle. It's not that deep. I haven't put that much into it. When I get to the point where I feel like, okay, like he's leveling up, he's really putting effort in, then I can match effort instead of putting all my effort into it in the beginning, like going to bed, dreaming about babies, dreaming about wedding, dreaming about these, like just being so invested, and then being like, because like no one wants to do that. And I feel like a lot of us girls go through that every single time, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm tired of it. Guys, now it's your turn. You're gonna comment below and tell me one of your biggest struggles through your single season. And if you don't wanna write it, then just write an emoji, because I feel like it'll be really funny for me to try and figure out what you're actually talking about. And I'm gonna comment below with my biggest struggle, because sis, we're in this together. And I'll see you next week.